Live on a Thursday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z. How you living, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. By the way, as we sit here, our view is obstructed.
It is. It really is. We're bunkered in.
You have survived a strange event yesterday, which is good.
Quite strange, yeah.
And, shout out to our guy Paco once again.
Paco,
second
delivering.
shout out in a month for Paco on Cleveland Browns Daily.
He's getting it done.
I'm good. Weather again remains tough, remains less than ideal, but whatevs. What I miss is, and I'll be honest with you because we're here on a Thursday.
Yep.
At this time of the year, like the gap between the games, like now I get why there's a Monday and a Thursday and a Sunday. Like
we're used to it. We're used to a game coming every other day.
There's not enough going on in the week.
No.
Sports wise, and I'm sorry, love the association. Love the Cavs, but you get basically, if you're a basketball fan, you can watch March Madness in March and then come back to the association in May, mid-April.
Sure.
And you get 2 months of
There's
playoffs.
no sense of urgency to any of it.
You get 2 months of playoffs to watch it all.
There's no sense of urgency to anything in the association, and they are, and this is, we talked about this with the Luka Doncic sitting out, and then the Warriors guys sat out on Friday.
Yeah, I saw you said the Jimmy Buckets kid did 4,000 miles just to see Jimmy Buckets.
Well, apparently that was a work. Apparently that kid did the same thing in Golden State. Had a sign that said, "I came 8,000 miles to see Steph Curry. Give me a hug."
The math adds up.
So that's his.
Maybe that's what he does.
Maybe that's what he does. He just travels around as a little kid and does this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't take away from the fact that it happened here twice. With the Warriors last Friday. It happened with Luka Doncic earlier in the season. And it's, man, I'm really passionate about it because what I have found, and fortunate to be able to live in a world and be able to do this, but I find that with kids my kids' age, that experiences trump gifts.
Yep.
That they're not into toys.
No.
Like we were as kids. They're not getting the Millennium Falcon. That's not where they're at. So what you try to do is you provide experiences. And so a lot of times that's wrapped up in a sporting event.
Yep.
I mean, for my kids, it almost always is. And it was for a buddy of mine with the Mavericks game with Luka. And when you go to a Cavaliers game and you're going to try and sit in decent seats, you're trying to sit in the lower bowl, let's say.
Not cheap.
Couple $100 minimum. You're not getting in there for less than $200. There's no chance on
a
seat per. Yeah. So you can do the quick math on $1,000 for 4. You haven't parked. You haven't bought dinner. You're going to buy something in the merch place, whatever. You're dropping over $1,000.
It's like going to Disney.
Yeah. So you're dropping about $1,000 on a night by the time all is said and done. And honestly, even if you're somebody you're spending $200 to sit up, that $200 to you is just as important, if not more so, maybe in many instances, to the $1,000 and below. Regardless, it really doesn't matter. There has got to be some integrity with what you're purchasing. And you cannot have it. Look, on Broadway, if you're going to go see Hamilton when Lin-Manuel Miranda was doing it, they have a schedule when the understudies are in.
Yes.
It's known.
It is known.
It is known. So
and it's factored in.
And it's factored into the cost.
To the price. That's right.
Yeah, you're going to see Hamilton, but you're not going to get Lin-Manuel Miranda. Okay, fine. I still want to see it. It'll be different. And so the pricing is reflected. And I say the same thing here. All right, no Luka, your ticket that was $225 on the secondary market, we're giving you back $200. Here's $25. That's what it ought to cost you if I don't get Luka. If I don't get Steph and Clay and Draymond, what happened here last Friday, that's a joke, man. It's a joke. Yeah. And until there's refunding of money and it hurts people.
Donovan Mitchell, right? Donovan Mitchell also was out that game.
He's injured, though,
right?
A little bit.
But I'm saying,
this
if
was
you were going to
day.
see that game.
Yes,
you
thought you were getting.
You wanted to see. That's a top 4.
Yeah.
Maybe Mobley's, in there
and
with
Garland.
Sure,
yeah.
But
the whole point is
you're seeing the visitor.
You're seeing you see your team 41 times.
Yeah.
You ought to be able to have certainty of what you're seeing coming in. And it's a joke. And it really is. Kerr addressed it in the post game here on Friday. It's starting to garner a little bit of attention. Bill Simmons talked about it on his podcast, that it's an absolute joke, and I've seen ESPN even pick up on it. That's where it has to hit. It's got to hit in the pocketbook. there has to be some guarantees of knowing what you're buying when you buy a ticket to an NBA game, because it's fraud, quite frankly.
Yeah, it is. You're not wrong. It's funny. I was follow one of those guys, and maybe it's like Super 70 Sports or whatever on Twitter, where they post stuff. And it was right after one of these kind of load scandals happened, and I watched a clip of a guy for the Milwaukee Bucks. I forget his name, but a player for the Milwaukee Bucks shooting a free throw while wearing a neck brace and playing.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know what's so crazy is you think about the old days, right? In baseball, every starter threw 300+ innings.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like 70s without the advancements in medicine and training and all this. They'd throw 300 innings. They'd pitch into the 7th, 8th. They'd throw the number of complete games that starting pitchers would throw back then. And then now guys can't throw, they're on pitch counts or their elbows explode. It feels like we're going backwards.
We are. And I do think that some of that is we are
pushing the envelope.
We are pushing it. We are pushing the envelope, and we're pushing it earlier. Kids are throwing constantly year round, and if you want to use the baseball. Same thing with ligaments in basketball, knees, that type of stuff.
You can't grow them.
You shouldn't be having knee surgery when you're in the 6th grade. But that happens. That type of stuff happens.
That's crazy.
I think that the load management stuff, I don't recall Kobe doing it. I pulled up his Basketball Reference, and it looks to me, I mean, he didn't play. He only played 82 twice, but there were always knocks with him, like he had injuries and stuff. I don't remember him ever load managing, but it's possible that he did.
Look at Jordan.
Well, that's the one that's you want your trump card. It's the Jordan trump card on the load management. Jordan played 82 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. He played 81, 80 in addition to that. Every time that he didn't play the full slate, it was an injury.
Yeah. That's what I don't understand.
And here's the other deal, dude. Like, you don't even need – this is what I would tell –
when I was in my 20s, I could do anything every day.
Of course. The other thing that I think is a solution to it is you don't need Steph Curry playing 38 minutes here last Friday. Go play 25.
Yeah, if you want to
shoot up 7 threes.
Yeah,
run around,
something.
Run up. I mean, do like the Globetrotters.
Right.
Bounce around, make a couple shots. All right, see you later. Fine. But to not do it at all is the issue. And honestly, there isn't another professional sport that does this. Football doesn't have this problem other than the last game of the regular season, if you've already clinched. There's hockey does not have this problem at all.
No.
They play through. Baseball, veteran day off, but usually that's part of a 3-game series.
Right, you're going to see the person will play in your town.
He'll play in your town.
You might not get a pitcher, but that rotation's known.
That's known. But everything else you'll see. You're going to position players. You're going to get.
Yeah,
you're
going to get Mike Trout.
He comes to Cleveland. They're going to play. That's the deal. So the only one that this happens is basketball. That's it.
And its regular season's becoming more and more meaningless.
Completely. Yeah.
Because now you get 10 teams have the ability to make the playoffs in a conference.
Yeah, because they have the
play-ins.
Stuff. Yeah.
So, the regular season doesn't matter at all.
No.
And none of those teams, I think, care about home court advantage. I don't think that matters at all. And then you get 2 months. The playoffs, 2 months. You can get in your groove.
Best of 7 every time through.
Yeah.
It used to be best of 5
right.
and then to 7.
Rex Chapman one time held the record for most threes in a 5-game series.
Gosh, that's great. So great. Yesterday, NBC picked out his AAU specifications, and he wanted 3. And I said, you're going to love it. That's going to be great.
Why?
I don't know, because he likes to shoot a lot of them. But then I said,
who's 3?
Well, he's a Kentucky guy. So he
knows
aware
Rex?
of Rex. Yeah, for sure.
King
so
Rex.
He's aware of King Rex. Yeah.
Boy'd wonder. Well, also Drazen.
Yeah, there's a lot of good threes out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good
You got to get him throw him some Drazen tape. People don't realize how good Drazen was.
Did you know his
he
son
lit up Jordan?
Not Drazen. No, that was Peja. No, Drazen was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Peja was great too. Drazen was an all-time.
Peja's son is what?
Peja's son is a McDonald's All-American with Bronny James.
I bet he's going to be nice.
I'm sure he knows how to shoot it.
I bet he does.
Yeah.
Well, he had that little kind of very high.
Well, it was also a side
of his head a little bit.
And he would flick side.
Yeah.
Like that.
A little not Pedro to his game. Not Pedro would shoot it over here because of his stigmatism, he would say. He would shoot it over here.
At what point did you start questioning his reasoning for stuff? At what age were you
I feel like
interesting.
Because
NBC hits me with that now. He's 11.
Yeah.
And if I spit him some nonsense, he'll look at me kind of side-eyed,
I think middle school. I was gonna say mid to late middle school, and certainly into high school.
Then you're
like
all in.
Yeah, the gig was up at that point for him. I was on to him. I was on to him. So I'm trying out the smoker tonight, first time. So I'm very pleased about that. I got some pork tenderloins right now, marinating in a mix.
What are you marinating them in?
Mix. B. Lynch, great human. There he is. Yes, we love this guy.
Love that guy.
Marinating.
Even he's trying to navigate this.
Yeah, he can't. It's treacherous in there.
Where do you
go?
go?
Come this
You
way.
gotta come around.
He's got to walk the orange aisle, baby. There it is. Let's go. Yeah.
Oh, he's on it.
Shuffling. He's got him
got
locked
it.
down.
Stay low.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. I'm gonna go in this one now
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
because this was
Just go there.
I didn't even know
just
where I
go
was.
there and come straight up the steps.
I ran into Jay back there. I didn't even know there were
Jay.
offices. I love Jay, but I mean, I didn't know there were even offices back
Jay
there.
in a dark alley though.
He
Scary.
is back there.
I know. Yeah. Where did he
I
come
was
from?
getting into? So I'm going that way now. It's going to be the
So
entrance.
it's marinating in apple juice,
I like it.
honey,
Sold.
little brown sugar.
Yep.
I have this pork rub.
Okay.
It's got barbecue, all that kind of, paprika and
Yeah.
all those good things. Some black pepper and thyme, and then I whisked.
it.
I whisked it. Very satisfying to whisk in a bowl. Did a lot of whisking.
Oh, there's
And
a
then-
sound that comes with it.
Ah,
That's so sad.
it's a great sound.
Mm-hmm.
And then dump that in the bag, and so it's fully submerged, both tenderloins, and then I'm gonna smoke them for about 3 hours, is what it says. The time should be, and this will be the first foray.
Delicate cut of meat. The pork tenderloin.
Pork tenderloin, yeah. You don't want to overcook
Little guy,
it.
because it's a fine line between it going south on you.
I'll have the thermometer. That's why in the past it's a sous vide, but
Yep.
in many ways this is similar to the sous vide in that we'll have a perfectly
Yeah, same thing.
temperature controlled environment, but it will be it's interesting. The sous vide puts the pork tenderloin at a little lower temperature than the Traeger suggests, but I'm going to maybe split the difference and see how that comes out.
What do you think? What do you anticipate being the cut of meat where the Traeger makes the biggest difference? What's the one meat you can't wait to make and you can't wait to smoke?
So, obviously a brisket I'm pretty pumped about. Ribs I'm pretty pumped about.
I like that.
Turkey leg. I really want to get into a turkey leg. The prime rib, I feel I feel great. I think that's the color. I think that's the color.
I hope.
It is.
I don't want to look again.
It's not a whale tail. I think it's the color of the.
Don't say it wasn't in play at first glance, because you saw the same thing I did.
Yeah, no, that's the color of the boxer.
All right.
Okay. An interesting
Quite.
selection.
Quite.
Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm looking to do. The brisket, it turns out, like I know I'm super pumped about it, but I kind of like my brisket the way that I do it.
Yeah.
And it is so much work on there.
Oh, it's arduous. I mean, you're in, you're out, there's a lot
Tenting,
going
I'm
on.
foiling, I'm wrapping, I'm injecting with syringes, like.
Yeah. I like where your head's at with the turkey legs. I think
that's
going to
what
be a real sweet spot for a guy
because
like
I mean, the best part is I can have a turkey leg now for probably like $10.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to 1,010, which is what it costs to get one at Disney.
Just rubbing it in already.
Yeah. So when you come back, I'll give you
That's all I
transformative
get.
turkey. I'm going to give you transformative turkey.
Just me. That'll be me.
Hold on, I'm going to give you I'm going to show you one of the great pictures of our time. If you want to,
All right.
we'll take a break. We got the Hoff
We
coming
got
up.
the
right?
Hoff coming up. It is a mailbag Thursday edition at 2:30. We'll hit the mailbag. Bobby is already on it, man. Unbelievable amount of questions for him. Incredible work rate.
Because he's a legend.
At Browns_daily. Hashtag AskCBD. We will get those to you. Get into the championship game. Have a conversation with the Hoff coming up next. We're off and running. Cleveland Browns Daily brought to you by Ballybet. Coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
baby.
Welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet. Coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. And now we head on the Twisted Tea hotline, brought to you by Twisted Tea. Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of the Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. He is the MC. He is the Hoff.
Oh, my God.
What?
Hold on.
Oh, my God. What is this? Wait, we have the Hoff.
Oh, my God.
There's a box.
There's
I don't
a
know.
box.
Is the Hoff here? Do we have the
Do
Hoff?
we have the Hoff? He's putting it on the ground.
Do we have the Hoff?
Don't hassle the Hoff.
Hello, gentlemen. Don't hassle me. I'm right here.
There he is. The
What's
Hoff,
up, gentlemen?
the star
Yes,
of the
it is.
Cleveland Sports Award.
Oh, my gosh. Hoff, we have
Hoff,
just
Hoff,
a visual
Hoff.
has just occurred.
We have just been shown the holy grail of hoodies.
Oh, my gosh.
What is happening right now? What's
Tell the
happening?
people what's
What are you-
happening. Tell the people.
All
Here's
right.
what's happening. I'll explain.
Tell the Hoff.
So we have the Hoff. Hoff is on. Hoff, are you home? Are you home?
I am not. I am enjoying the glories of the O'Hare Airport on a layover right now.
Oh, my God.
Hoff, you are aware.
Ugh.
You are aware though that this started with a hoodie. There's a Cleveland Browns equipment staff hoodie that Zagura and I
Hoff's
have,
aware.
have
I'm sure he
lusted-
has one.
I'm sure he has several
Yeah.
that we've lusted
Yeah.
after for years.
I've
here.
got one.
You've
Oh,
got
yeah.
one.
What
Yep.
color do you have, Hoff?
Oh yeah.
What do you have? The black?
I think I got the gray one.
Okay.
I think I have the gray one if I'm thinking correctly.
Okay.
So we have lusted after these for these many years and days, and Zagura has been
I
through.
think he's coming in right now.
I don't know what's going on. Apparently, I mean, we just saw it. Like equipment, is this happening? Is
Is he
this
coming
happening
in right now? No, he's not coming
Not
in
yet,
right now.
not yet. Just a look, just a look. There will be-
Just a look.
We've seen it. So, Hoff, we after all we've been through, the legendary, the great, the impeccable Brad Mellon has decided to bestow upon us our own
Oh my goodness.
hoodies of a
Oh, my
code.
goodness.
Zagura has left the building. He's left the room. He's out of the studio. He's out of the studio right now. But Mellon just held them up. Hoff, they're stunning. They're stunning accomplishments. So that's why we're derailed here right now, because Brad has outdone himself and his pursuits of excellence.
This is a joyous occasion. It calls for some celebration. I need to go find some bourbon somewhere here in the O'Hare Airport. See
yeah.
where they're serving.
He's coming.
At-
He's gonna
at
come back.
noon.
He's gonna come back after the Hoff.
Hoff, this would probably be like when you get the Hager Gold jacket. This would be the equivalent for
us. That's
Yeah,
right.
This will be the equivalent for
This
us.
is it. This is it.
I'm like-
and
I'm
I get
just
to be on the phone
combobulated.
with you guys right now.
Yeah, it's a stunning,
I can't
stunning level
function.
of accomplishment. All right, so let's focus. We're big
Okay.
B's. We'll
Hold on.
dial in.
Hold on.
All right. Yep. Gather. I mean, I just can't believe what I saw. I didn't even want to look at it. It was kind of like looking at the sun.
Okay.
Hoff.
Wow. Yeah.
Sports awards last night. You crushed. Rave reviews by all. I mean, the only thing I've heard with a more positive review is like Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes. It appears you absolutely crushed it. Give me a level of one of those. Was it one of those things where you're like, yeah, I'll do this, and then at any point in the lead up where you're like, what have I done?
What have I gotten into with the monologue?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So, they call in the fall, and they're like, hey, we want you to be the host. And, I've hosted the Wisconsin Sports Awards, and I've done a few similar type hosting events. But typically it's like, all right, here's your script. You can read it. Maybe we'll give you a teleprompter. So, hey, I may be an offensive lineman. I did go to Wisconsin, but I still can read. I can stand up in front of people and read off of a script. But all of a sudden, I'm in Mexico, and I get home on this last Saturday night.
Puerto
And, of course, I was boogie boarding and enjoying tacos al pastor in Puerto Vallarta. Bucerías. And so I wasn't thinking about the real world. And so I get home and I get this email, and it's like, oh, by the way, you have to write your own 10-minute monologue, and you got to memorize it at the beginning of the show. And by the way, it better be funny. And I'm like, okay, we got some problems here because
No
first
prompter?
of all, I've never done stand-up comedy. No prompter, nothing. And I was not exactly aware of that going into it. I thought, you know what, I can announce a few people up on stage.
Sure.
I can read the card, welcome everybody, thank everybody. Like, that's a no-brainer. But all of a sudden, the tables were turned immediately on Sunday when I hit reality, putting my feet in the snow in Wisconsin and realizing that I got a big task ahead of me here for Wednesday night. So I had to dial up a few favors, ask some people that have actually been in that situation before, had to write those type of things, leaned on them heavily, and I think the results were good. I personally had a lot of fun being on stage. I think I talked to Z this morning. I texted him. I said, as a lineman, it's a little weird being in the spotlight because usually you're in the spotlight and you got the stage when it's like holding number 73 and everyone's like, oh, not again. Or like, sack. Who gave up that sack? Oh, left tackle. But like actually having the spotlight on you when you have an opportunity to make a few people laugh and giggle and just enjoy that moment was unique for me, and it was really special, and it was a great night.
First of all, that's awesome. Second of all, you probably got a little practice for what's going to happen down the road in Canton, right? Because you're going to there'll be a speech there.
Just a little practice.
Yeah, so you got a little practice
there. Will be, yes.
So
yes.
A few more eyes in Canton.
A few more eyes.
A few more eyeballs.
The eyes of the world.
Yes,
more. So you 10 minutes, good, smart, good time. I was at one of those where somebody went about 30, and it was everybody in there wanted. It was almost like mass euthanasia. Peace, help us, get us out of the situation. So I saw.
Was it Bill Walton by any chance? Because I was at that one.
No, and I will not name names.
Oh God,
no
he
names,
went for like 45 minutes. Good Lord.
Too much. It's too much.
All right, no names.
So,
no names.
All right, so
TMI.
What did you feel was your what landed the best? From based on Twitter, it felt like you got into a great Billy Manziel story that really landed. Did that feel the best to you? And if not, what was your best bit? What did people really seem to enjoy?
Yeah, everybody always loves the Billy Manziel Vegas story, and I think I brought it around that it was not surprising to me that Billy Manziel goes out to Vegas when he should be studying film and being with his teammates. The surprising thing for me was that once he gets to Vegas, he buys a blonde wig, the Groucho glasses, which are the big nose, big mustache, big black rimmed glasses, changes his first name from Johnny to Billy, but leaves his last name as Manziel. Like, has anybody ever met a Manziel anywhere else in their entire life?
No.
The one thing he should change is his last name. He's freaking Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, the most famous college player of our generation. So that was the surprising thing for me. I thought that one landed pretty good.
Oh, God, it landed right now. I loved it.
He should have been Johnny Billy.
Yes, people have
Johnny Billy or Billy Johnson?
Johnny Billy, like
Johnny
Baby Billy. I mean, that's it. That
Johnny
works so
John.
easily.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, jeez.
Billy the Kid. I don't know.
It's
Anything
unbelievable.
besides Manziel.
Anything but
Yeah,
Manziel.
it reminded me of that Johnny Cash story. Right? Like, call me Sue. Call me anything, but don't call me Sue.
Right.
Call him anything. Don't call him Manziel.
Right.
But that was a good one. And we were talking about how Ohio has legalized gambling, and you can put in your bets here still tonight for the high school athlete of the year. You got 10 more minutes if you're that degenerate type. But I like the one I said, little insider tip. I know he was the odds-on favorite, but Jadeveon Clowney will not be winning the Sportsmanship Award tonight, even though there's a lot of people putting bets on it.
Sing! You needed somebody on stage to hold up a sign that says "Sing."
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's strong.
That was a good one. I like that one because there was a lot of laughs, and then there was a lot of groans. There were a lot of people going, "Ooh!"
Oh,
well, that's when you know you've done it.
Yeah, you know you've done it. Right.
That means you've hit
That's
the
right.
nerve. Did you practice? Did you run it by? Do you run it by the wife? Did you have any help with the writing of it?
Yeah.
Did you really have to memorize it, or did they not have a prompter for you?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I said, when I was way over my skis when I said, "Yeah, I'll do that." That doesn't sound that hard. Until I realized what it actually took, because I've got not the best memory in the world, so I really had to spend some time like going over it in the mirror. But I was like, "Hey, honey, can I like give the speech to you as a trial audience?" She's like, "I don't care," and she's like, "No, I don't have time for that." So I'm like, "All right, I guess the mirror it is." But yeah, so Anthony Lima actually was really helpful. He's done a few of those. And he was awesome, like just talking with him and getting some perspective on, hey, how do you link these things together with your career and maybe current events and people in the audience. And then the great Dan Murphy, he's been my buddy forever. He was really awesome, just kind of helping me with some of the flow of things with the speech. And once I had it put on paper and then went through it a couple times, had a chance to just kind of say it. And then I actually used my voice memo on my phone to record it. And then listen back.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just like I would study film, right? Like
Yep.
listen back and see how it sounds when you're not just saying it, when you're actually listening back to it.
Yeah. 10 minutes, by the way, is a long time. It doesn't sound like a long time. That is a long time.
My thinking as Hoff's talking, I'm thinking 10 minutes, I would probably want 5 story/jokes. 5 or 6 would get me to 10 minutes.
Yes.
Right? About where we were.
Yep. Yeah, about a minute and a half,
thereabouts,
each bit. Little laugh, yuck it up, and then on to the next. That feels like that's the number.
Yeah.
So that would be the sweet spot on that. Should Zagura and I be insulted that we weren't consulted? Are we not funny enough? Are we not clever enough? I mean, what happened?
Fair question.
I mean, geez.
No, I didn't want to waste your time. I didn't want you guys to have to slum it. You guys are way too big time, especially now that you got these Browns equipment hoodies. You don't have time. Your time's way too valuable to spend on a lowly peasant like me.
First of all, you're not a lowly peasant. You're the Hoff, and it would be our honor to help you with anything in this regard. But of all the things that you could have come back with, that was probably the best.
Pretty good answer.
That felt good. It made me feel good still.
Yeah.
Did you
don't
watch...
worry, guys. I'm saving you guys for the more important one.
Oh, boy. Baby.
Got in the writer's room.
Yes, God, yes, in the writer's room.
There you go.
There's those, like when Chris Rock would go back out on tour and they'd bring like a bunch of comedians in to help him.
Yeah.
Like we'll be just in a room at the Hoff's ranch.
And after his speech, like when it rolls the credits, like we'll be in there small, but it'll like fly by in a millisecond. Just zoom.
Yep.
But we'll know.
We'll know.
That's
we'll
right.
know.
And that's all that matters.
You pause it. Screenshot it.
Yeah, I missed it.
Did you look at did you watch any film of guys hosting award shows or ESPY hosts, like people who hit on this stuff, or was there any you're obviously you do a lot of homework on a lot of things. Did you do any homework from that side of things?
Yeah. They sent me a lot of stuff from like prep work with guys that have done it before, and I think I watched a little bit of it, then I found out it was just kind of not the best use of my time because nobody else really was like a Cleveland Browns player or like had the experience that I did. And so it was kind of like, it wasn't really helpful. So I kind of stopped watching that stuff. I'm like, let's just focus on me and my career, just trying to think about, what's going to hit with this crowd based on what I have done and my time in Cleveland.
What's as you sit here and you practice for this, and you mentioned the bigger one, which will be in the writing room for a great honor, very prestigious. What is it like that you wanted to communicate to people, or maybe this wasn't the right form of it, that like you wanted people to know about you, the player? Because I find the thing to me that separates you, not only are you a fine human and a tremendous guy and all of that, and obviously incredibly skilled, but your approach and your just dedication to like the details, the minutia, the preparation, the fact that, you hear it's got to be a lifestyle for a quarterback. Well, for you, you made it your lifestyle to be, as prepared as possible. Is that what you want people to know about you, or what is it that you want people to know about you as a player, and what made you be able to be as good as you were for so long, or as great as you were?
Yeah, I think for me, it's probably two things. Like my analysis, I always took it upon myself to make sure that my analysis of my own play was above and beyond just what you're getting from a coaching standpoint. I want to be a critical thinker, and I think just me in general, that I think about stuff maybe different perspective than a lot of people, and I think that's helpful. Sometimes it's not always helpful, but sometimes it's helpful because my wife thinks I'm kind of weird when I bring up stuff. But like within my own game, it allowed me to think outside the box, to handle challenges that I thought were unique. Like, all right, how do I block Dwight Freeney's spin? Like, nobody could do it. Like, what am I seeing? What can I find that nobody else has seen before? When I played against Jason Taylor, like, he was dominating people with that long arm, and he was so good at it, but nobody could stop it. I'm like, all right, how do I think differently about this so I can handle it? And then how do I take my preparation and my plan and then practice it during the week so that when I see it on Sunday, it's not the first time I'm seeing it, right? Like, I really think, and this kind of comes from doing a lot of like reading about military and preparation. Like, they're preparing for the most important thing in the world in their life, like war. Like, this is life and death. So they go through millions of run-throughs to make sure it's perfect, because when you go into something, there's so many things you don't know that you don't know until you actually go through a run-through. And so that's what I try to do, and that's how I use my practice and my film study, so that on Sunday, it was just routine, and it was something I'd seen a million times, even though I'd actually haven't lived it before.
I love it. Love the approach.
He's the Hoff.
Of course. I would expected nothing less. We've got a dandy here on Sunday. You watched the games over the weekend. You got 4 teams here, Hoff, that with these starting quarterbacks since November 1st are 35-2. I don't recall 4 teams being this hot going into the conference championship games. We clearly have the right 4 teams. What do you make of the 2 matchups?
You're exactly right. It's the first time that I can remember recently where it feels like the 4 best teams the last month of the season are all right here. Like there was no wild card team that kind of snuck in that you didn't expect, that kind of got hot a little bit. I thought maybe the Jaguars could be that team. They reminded me a little bit of when Big Ben won the Super Bowl, I think in his second year when they were a wild card. They got hot at the end. They were playing good as a team, like they had that team thing, but obviously they got knocked off. And really, I'm excited for both of these matchups. They're both unique. You got on the NFC side, it's 2 teams that want to run the ball and play defense. And then on the AFC team, it's going to be Star Wars fireworks.
What do you make of just the way that the world has all of a sudden perceived? It feels like people are thinking the Chiefs have no chance, that the Bengals are an unstoppable juggernaut. They're calling it Burrowhead. Eli Apple is shooting his bazoo without a license on Twitter. The Bengals are all of a sudden heels. What do you make of all that has happened here?
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre, and I think it's one of the things that could potentially hurt the Bengals, right? Not that they've played the underdog role, but they've played maybe the understated role really well, and that starts with Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, and just their calm, cool collectiveness, and the fact that their defense is made up of a bunch of good players, but they don't have like stars and all pros across the board, and so they really embrace the team concept, the steadiness, and you worry that like if all of a sudden everybody's heaping all this praise on them, how's that going to affect their preparation? Are they going to start smelling themselves a little bit too much? Are they going to start thinking like, hey, we got this? And they forget, like, hey, man, it's pretty hard to just get here. And what got us here was that sort of humble chip on our shoulder approach. So I wonder if they forget that and if it bites them at all in the next potentially 2 games.
I have one question for you. With some
ask
of
it.
The news.
He's answered all of them.
Some of the news of the day.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh, gosh.
Offensive coordinator of the Jets. What's the talk in Wisconsin? There's Schefter. There's a lot of rumors right now. He'll be traded to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers. Is there a Wisconsin uprising going on? And if I'm just speaking for me, and Bo said this too, like staying with Green Bay is your best path to success by far than going and getting into this absolute murderer's row in the AFC.
Yeah, I would agree. The consensus in Wisconsin is like a little bit of Aaron Rodgers fatigue, to be honest. I mean, over the last couple of years and the drama that's been around him and the team, and the fact that they always felt like this was the last couple of years, teams that were going to win the Super Bowl, and they've really underachieved. And so I think there's plenty of people going, hey, if we can trade him now and get a lot for it and like start kind of building for the future, that might not be the worst timing ever. Because shoot, I mean, he may retire too. Like, I think that's a real threat. And so for people in Wisconsin, they're like, hey, whatever happens, happens. But I think they're finally okay with the idea that Aaron Rodgers might not be their quarterback this next season.
Done with him.
Yeah, could be. All right, Hoff, great job last night, pal. Thank you for your time.
It's sad that he was in and out so fast.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Oh, gosh. I mean,
anytime it was unfortunate.
If the Hoff's in Cleveland, then we need to see him is what you hope for.
That's what I hope for. Yeah, I could have used him today while I was working out. The new workout Hoff. Killer. It's a killer.
Yeah, baby. Next time we'll be pumping iron.
Yeah, baby.
All right, the great Joe Thomas. Thanks, Hoff. Safe flight, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, we'll see you.
All right, that's the Hoff. Joe Thomas joining on the Twisted Tea Hotline, brought to you by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, an official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. So is this happening? Or is there going to happen in the 2
I'm going to go try
hour?
to get him right now.
Okay, well, here's the deal. Let's really think about this. So we have an off-season breakdown.
Yep.
Sal Pal's at 2.
Well, it's got to be. So it can't be at 2.
It can't be at 2.
Everything else it can be.
It can be at 2. It could be at 2:15. It could be at
2:30.
2:30 is the
can't be at
mailbag.
2 because you said 2 Sal.
2 Sal Pal. So I would say 2:15,
2:30,
or now.
I'm going down there now. I'm gonna try to get him. He does not love the spotlight. But he needs to come here. This is a
He
journey.
doesn't have to say anything. Like he could just come
I'd
in.
like him to talk about his
I would
journey.
too, but I don't know that he's going to be up for that.
Or at
I
least
don't
to
want
come in here and present.
I don't want to do anything to jeopardize the article's long-awaited arriving
Agreed.
to us. So
But I feel like it's got to be proper.
However he wants to do it.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Like he sniped us over my shoulder.
They're right there.
They're there.
They're there. But I feel like we can't just get them off of a box.
It feels anticlimactic. I will just tell the people when you see us in these suckers on this stream,
When
you're
are we
not going to be able to
debuting
wrap
him?
your head around them.
If
that's stunning.
If he comes in, we'll put him on today.
However he wants to do, whatever he wants.
I'm going to get him.
Yeah, but if he doesn't want to do this, don't press. I don't want to press. Like, this is an incredible honor. We don't need to be very grateful.
He needs
whatever.
to be honored.
I understand, but his way of being honored, we do present the Brad Mellon Pursuit of Excellence Award every week.
Yeah.
So he's
perfection, not just excellence.
Perfection and excellence.
Both.
So
P&E.
That's right. The BMPE is handed out every week. So I just want to make sure that that's known.
I think it might be 2 P's. Brad Mellon Pursuit of Perfection and Excellence. The BMPPE.
PPE.
Yeah.
BMPPE. Yeah. Duh. Been doing it for years.
It's like Mbappe.
That's right. All right. So you go figure that out. That could be next. Gentle tactics. Gentle tactics.
What I do?
Exactly. You said it. Browns fans today through midnight on February 9th, head to the NFL.com/FedEx, the NFL's official Twitter handle, or the NFL's mobile app to cast your vote for Nick Chubb as the FedEx Ground Player of the Year. 2022 FedEx Aaron Ground NFL Players of the Year will be announced during the NFL Honors on February 9th. We will either be doing a positional breakdown or we will be getting hoodies bestowed. It's all in play. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Shotgun. 3rd and goal. He takes the snap. He looks. He throws. Touchdown! Amari Cooper. He was wide open. Nobody covered him, and they paid. Here's Watson back, looking, throwing, caught. Peoples-Jones got it, and he goes in. Touchdown! Donovan Peoples-Jones. Jacoby back up in the pocket, looking, throwing. Cooper's open. He's up in the air, and he caught it in the end zone. Touchdown, Amari Cooper.
I'm definitely learning from him. He has a lot of experience. Very smart guy. You can see his success. He's Amari Cooper, so it's always things to learn from him.
Watson back to pass. Up in the pocket, throws wide open. Peoples-Jones has it, and he's going to and he leaps in. Touchdown, Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's back, settles, looks, throws. He's got Cooper wide open. He caught it. 20, 15, 10, 5, 3-yard line. It's first and goal. It's first and goal at the 3-yard line. Amari Cooper in the pocket with time. Throws middle. That's caught up high inside the 35-yard line on the catch. It is Amari Cooper, and he's got a first down.
And that gives him 1,004 on the season, Jim. The 6,000-yard season of Amari Cooper's career, and that catch couldn't have come at a bigger time.
It's cool. I mean, it's something that I expect to do every year, barring injury or things like that. Really just trying to, reach that next level.
3rd down and 5. He's looking left, throwing. Cooper's there. He got it. Cooper up the sideline. Still going. Cooper running down the sideline. 10, 5, end zone. Touchdown, Amari Cooper.
Coming in 30 here, Bo.
Jim, we needed that. We wanted it. Thank you, Amari Cooper.
Back to pass. Stepping. Going to go long. Cooper's out there. He caught it at the 15-yard line. He caught it. What a catch by Amari Cooper. And the chant of Coop all around First Energy.
All the fans being there, it's very comfortable. I feel like it's been that type of experience for me this year.
You're up.
Well, this is it. It is the receiver position. It is our positional breakdowns. Amari Cooper, absolute theft in a trade last year for the Dallas Cowboys. 78 receptions, 1160, 29 shy of his career high set in 2019. 12th in the NFL. 9 touchdowns. Those were a career high. Donovan Peoples-Jones continues to be an incredible find in the 6th round. 61 receptions, 839, 3 touchdowns for DPJ as he has established himself as a legitimate NFL number 2 receiver. Beyond that, shaky, very. David Bell, the rookie in 2022, undrafted or unrestricted free agent after 2026. Not sure how that's relevant. 24 receptions for 214 yards. He's a rookie. Schwartz.
He's on his rookie day. He's a first
Schwartz. 4 receptions, 51. Michael Woods, who was really good in camp, just 5 receptions for 45. There are 2 certainties here and a bunch of questions, pal.
A lot of questions. And one thing that is not a question, everybody in this room is under contract for next year. So there will only be additions. There will obviously be subtractions as well, but they do not have to compete to bring anybody that they would desire to bring back. There's no competition to bring anybody back there. You have everybody under contract, as I mentioned. So Amari Cooper, that's your number 1. What a trade by Andrew Berry to bring him in here. His leadership, his approach to the game, Hoff-like. Yep. I mean, just the detail that he puts in there. You think about 2 different quarterbacks. You think about battling through an injury of his own. 1,160 yards, you mentioned, 9 touchdowns, 14.9 yards per catch for Amari Cooper as well, which is a full yard above his career average. And when you look at, he's only bested 14.9 once in his career. That was in 2019 with Dallas. He was at 15.1, but 2020 was 12.1, 2021 12.7, so 14.9, hit some big plays. He was uncoverable in against man. There was one hiccup, the one pass against Cincinnati. Not so good. Who cares? We won the game, Zagura. I know. He was great. DPJ, career high in catches, career high in yards, tied the career high. At one point, if it weren't for weather, really felt like he was at a chance to get to 1,000 yards this season. But your 3rd leading receiver from this group was Bell with 214 yards. Yeah. Schwartz, 4 for 51. Woods, 5 for 45. Jalen Darden's a guy we brought in late in the year, a former 4th-round pick from 2 years ago of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or last season, I'm sorry. He was a 4th-round pick last season. He's got a little juice to him. I'm curious to see, maybe what he has. It was his presence on the field that cleared the way for one of our touchdowns against Pittsburgh in that game, a big play. So he's got some speed. You get Grant back. He's a guy who had been effective, 400, 500 yards, make some plays for you. Weston is the big, tall, speedy guy who got hurt right away. They liked Baldwin. We saw him make a couple catches here. They like Mike Harley Jr. But the fact is, this is a room that is lacking. Now, could David Bell take a step forward? You need him to. Schwartz at this point, look, the reality is Anthony Schwartz is, if I'm him, I'm becoming a special teams ace. If I can ever get it together as a receiver, that's a bonus. But if I want to stay in the National Football League for a while, and I think he can. I thought he was very good when he kind of transitioned to being a full-time special teams player.
Yeah.
Was great as a gunner. Almost blocked a couple of punts. I think he's got some potential there. But it's clear that this is a room that is lacking a guy with speed who can play in the NFL. And that's what we need more than anything. And I think that is priority one this offseason for this room. If you threw a guy with speed out there with Amari and DPJ, you are going to be in a great spot. And David Bell, I think it was a big acclamation for him. Let's be honest.
It was. It was disappointing.
Really disappointing. This guy dominated high-level competition in college.
Yeah, well, I remember when he was drafted, we looked at his games against Penn State, against Ohio State, against Iowa. He was great against the best defenses in the Big Ten.
Huge, a couple of 200-yard games.
Right. Yep.
20 yards a catch.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the extra half step in the league that made it harder for him or what, but he struggled with it. Anthony Schwartz struggles are well documented. Woods was good in camp, but we just haven't seen it. I don't know. Do you think you could see two new faces in this room? I wouldn't be opposed.
So this is what I think. Amari, Donovan Peoples-Jones, David Bell. I think they like Michael Woods quite a bit. Jakeem Grant's going to be in the room.
Yeah.
So that's 5.
Yeah, that's true.
Darden has, I guess, an opportunity. Schwartz maybe makes it as your 6th. But that's the thing. You're getting to a numbers game. It's like Amari and Donovan Peoples-Jones will be here. David Bell, they're not giving up on after his rookie year, no question. They like Woods, but, other than those 3, and I think Grant, if he's healthy and comes back to regain his form, he'll be on the team as your punt returner. So that's 4. I don't know. I mean, Michael Woods felt like he had more juice than David Bell.
Yeah.
But the production really, honestly, ultimately was not there for him. The production was not there for David Bell. We need somebody else who can produce in this offense. And look, year 1 to year 2, that's when there are a lot of jumps now. But I don't know. I do think that the number one need on offense for the Cleveland Browns is a receiver who can take the top off of the defense. I think that is the number one, and second might as well be 8th.
Well said. Gibby wants to know, which rookie wide receiver needs to take the biggest step forward in year 2, Michael Woods or David Bell?
I mean, you drafted Bell in the 3rd round.
So
you drafted him to be a man of consequence. The guy was the Big Ten receiver of the year and was completely outclassed by Dotson in Washington.
Yep. Not
to mention Garrett Wilson, Olave.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Those are first-rounders. But, I mean, you needed to have he needs to. He's got to show some of the stuff that
he didn't catch a touchdown.
No.
I mean, if you were to say to yourself, MJ Emerson was excellent. Let me just, before I make the full comment here, MJ Emerson was excellent.
Yep.
And looks like he will be a star. And if he was a first-round pick, you would have been totally pleased with him. Did not make an interception this year, though. If you were to tell me going into this season that our 3 third-round picks, Emerson, Alex Wright, David Bell, would combine for 0 touchdowns, sacks, and interceptions.
Yeah, it's impossible.
It felt impossible, yet.
And yet. Fact or fiction, this is one of the top 2 needs on the team to address this offseason. Fact, we've said it a million times. This and defensive line.
Yeah, 100%.
Got to sort it out.
Yes.
Fact or fiction, the acquisition of Amari Cooper is the biggest achievement for GM Andrew Berry since coming back as GM.
Fiction.
It's pretty good.
It's great, but Andrew Berry's long-term success is going to be tied to Deshaun Watson. And if he brought us a true franchise quarterback, that will be the thing that he is most remembered for, his biggest achievement, and will be the thing that changes the direction of our franchise. Amari Cooper, it's great.
Yeah.
But this is all about Deshaun Watson. And he was able to procure a franchise quarterback in his prime, albeit with baggage.
It was one of
massive.
It was one of the great acquisitions of the NFL offseason.
Yeah.
Amari for that price was a stunning,
no doubt,
stunning achievement.
No
but yes,
doubt.
when you can get a quarterback in his prime that's a franchise quarterback, that is where this whole operation
That doesn't
will
happen.
either,
There's
sink
no
or
other
swim.
precedent for that. Like
No.
Russ is old.
No,
Aaron Rodgers
27.
gets traded. He's gonna be old.
No, there's none. No, Breeze, but I don't know if anybody. He was coming off of a crazy injury, and I don't know if anybody knew
At
that he
point,
was
they
that.
didn't know.
He was nice, but I don't know that anybody knew he would turn into what he turned into.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And who knows what happened if he ends up in Miami?
Right. Yeah. No, it's a good point. All right, coming up next, Sal Paolantonio to preview the NFC Championship game. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Browns Daily brought to you by Ballybet, coming soon to Ohio. When a medical mistake causes you injury, call the medical malpractice attorneys at 1-800-ELK Ohio. Elk & Elk's a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns, and now it's with great joy. What a treat. Joined on the Twisted Tea Hotline, brought to you by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of the Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. ESPN national correspondent Sal Paolantonio joins us. Sal, thank you so much. I was curious about this in the lead up to this championship game, and we just had Jim Schwartz here last week for his press conference as a defensive coordinator. Everyone's going, oh, he won the press conference. And I thought to myself, boy, Nick Sirianni probably had about as bad an opening press conference as you could have, and that all worked out just fine. At what point did you have a feeling that he knew what he was doing and that this thing was headed in the right direction?
Not for a while, actually, I got to tell you. I would say once Jalen Hurts really started to turn the corner and looked like he was going to be a consistent pocket passer, that he could be a dual threat and win from the pocket. And that was probably, I'm going to say, week 4 or week 5. You know, I did a piece for a local magazine here, and the title of it was The Year of Living Dangerously. Because the Eagles came into this offseason not really knowing what they had at the quarterback position. You know, it was such a dumpster fire in the playoff game, in the wild card playoff game in Tampa against the Bucs. Jalen Hurts played poorly, the defense played poorly, and they just looked like they were just totally outclassed and outcoached. And I had real doubts going into the season, and then training camp. It was one of those things where I really got to see it work.
And work it has. You look at this offense, Sal, you know, Hurts and Sanders combined for over 2,000 yards, 24 touchdowns on the ground, and then you flip it, the big offseason acquisition of A.J. Brown. He goes for 1,496. Devontae Smith, and Goddard are over 3,000 yards and 20 touchdowns, and that's with Goddard missing 5 games this season. This offense is one of the most dynamic and dangerous in the league. And I'll tell you, we saw them here for joint practices in Cleveland. And I remember Bo and I talking, being like, whoa, these guys, they looked great coming off the bus. They looked great on the field. We knew they were a team of consequence, but the way they have put it together, they really can do anything offensively now. And that line, that giant line.
It's a very athletic offensive line. Ohio boy, Jason Kelsey. He's the one that makes it go. And as you know, I'm on the Hall of Fame selection committee for Canton, Ohio. And he will definitely be somebody I will be banging the table for once he retires. Because I think he has become the truly dominant center in the league. There's a reason why he's all-pro, has been all-pro, will be all-pro. And he's super tough, super smart. Does a great job with the protection. I mean, when you have a center who sets the protection for you, that's a big plus. I don't know how many centers do that throughout the league, but I don't think there's anybody who does it better than Jason Kelsey. And that has really helped Jalen Hurts accelerate his maturation process.
Sal, speaking of Jalen Hurts, you want to talk about improbable. I mean, this guy was benched at Alabama in favor of Tua because Tua threw it better. There was talk when he left Oklahoma that would he have to play another position. I'm sorry, Alabama, that he'd have to play maybe another position. He lands at Oklahoma, which is like quarterback finishing school under Lincoln Riley, and then ends up being a second-round pick. But I don't know that anybody really knew what he would necessarily be. And I promise you this, nobody thought he would be this good to where he's probably going to finish second in the MVP to Patrick Mahomes. In terms of Hurts' growth, how much of it is him? How much of it is organizational structure? How much of this surprised you?
Boy, those are a lot of questions at once, so let's take them one at a time. First of all, in my view, he is the MVP over Mahomes. If you want to look at strictly passing numbers, sure, Mahomes has that. But you know what? That's not what we do in the NFL. If we did that, we could just hire a bunch of accountants to figure out what the numbers are, right? Am I right about that?
You are.
You don't need guys. Yeah, you could just get a bunch of accountants in the room and look at the numbers and not put names on it or not put film study in or realize the perspective or, the result when the guy's not in there is astonishing. So I think he's the MVP. Now, about the development and about let's go first to the development. he really dedicated himself.
Yep.
I really remember very, very, very vividly in the bowels of Raymond James Stadium. They lose to Brady and the Bucks. He's in a walking boot because he's got a busted up ankle. He walks to the press table. He steps to the microphone. He looks at the assembled reporters and he says, "My third year starts tomorrow." So this guy gets ankle surgery. He goes to California. He works on his mechanics, footwork, delivery, accuracy with quarterback coaches out there. Dedicates his entire offseason to fine-tuning his craft. Comes in, puts in the work, and then leads this team like a CEO. So I think if you're asking me to put a number on it, I'm going to say 90% it's Jalen Hurts. 90. And that's not hyperbole.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's him. It's the way he's a son of a coach from Channelview, Texas. And here's the other thing, and it's interesting that you put those two questions together because I think that's brilliant. This guy's got a chip on his shoulder. He was left at the altar in Alabama. He was second in the Heisman voting. Yep. He was drafted in the second round. This guy's got a chip on his shoulder.
And he's proven it. He's getting it done. And one of the things that I always credit, Howie Roseman with is if we're going to go with Jalen Hurts, let's give him a chance. First-round pick, a year ago on Devontae Smith. Then you make the trade for A.J. Brown. What a difference have those guys made? And he wasn't afraid to swing at a receiver even after it was a miss on Jalen Reagor, right? But they said, we're going to use those assets again, and they did that, and that duo has been spectacular. Sal, what's A.J. Brown meant, though, that acquisition, which feels like a fleecing?
Yeah, you wound up getting the Titans GM fired.
Yeah, that's right, after a game against him.
Titans came in, got embarrassed, and the ownership was like, what? What did we do? We gave away our best player, and we just got thrashed by that team.
With him.
It's a gots-to-go situation, right? So, yeah, I look at Howie Roseman and I think, okay, what's the proof? Well, the proof is the Eagles are the number one seed in the NFC twice in 5 years. That's never happened before with a different head coach and quarterback combo. So who's the common denominator? It's the GM, Howie Roseman, Executive of the Year.
Yeah, he is. It leads to this matchup where we have Sal, and the AFC is unbelievable as well. And since November 1st, the starting quarterbacks when they're all available, and these four teams are 35-2,
unreal.
Which is you've been around the game a long time. I don't recall four hotter teams all playing at once in conference championship games. The San Francisco team that comes in here.
Wait a minute, give me that number again.
35-2. The four teams that are playing in the conference championship games playing with these starting quarterbacks. The only loss is that it's Philly, and then it's Mahomes losing to Cincinnati.
Cincy.
That's it. All the rest of them are undefeated since November 1.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, stunning.
Exactly.
It is
wild.
wow.
It is.
So you look at this Niners team coming in and the brilliance of Kyle Shanahan and the way that this roster's been built, and yet you have these two quarterbacks. We've mentioned Hurts and his ascent, and you did make an argument for him as MVP. Brock Purdy comes out of nowhere, almost literally out of nowhere, and he's been playing very, very clean. This matchup feels like a monster on both sides. What's your read on it here a couple days out?
Well, first of all, let me just say this. I've covered, 30 drafts? If Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl, here's what I do if I'm the owner of the NFL team. I literally walk into the scouting department and say, you guys are on double secret probation from here on out. I'm not going to fire you because you all got families, but you better figure this out quick because there's no way that if you were in any other business, right, trucking, I don't care what it is, aerodynamic, pick a business, and you miss that badly on an important piece of intelligence like picking a quarterback of your football team, then you have no business doing what you do. Because I am just blown away that this guy can go from Mr. Irrelevant to Mr. Impossible. Now, how does it happen?
Stunning.
It is. It's crazy.
Wow. It is crazy. You hear Brock Purdy speak, and you say, this guy's got the makeup of a quarterback. You watch him play on TV, and you say, this guy's pretty good. Then you plug in the tape like we do on the NFL Matchup Show, and you say, okay, this guy's buttoned up. He's in the right place at the right time. He gets out of bad plays at the line of scrimmage. I mean, come on. We got how many starts does he have? 8. He gets out of bad plays at the line of scrimmage all the time. His ball is precise. His ball is on time. He's got command of the line of scrimmage in the huddle. I mean, he just looks, feels, smells like a starting quarterback in the NFL. And I don't think he's at a disadvantage in Philadelphia. I think the Niners' offensive line is the real key to the game.
Yep.
They had trouble blocking the Cowboys, real trouble blocking the Cowboys. And I think the Eagles' front four is better. Their pass rush scheme is better. Their coverage on the back end is better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, to me, is where the real weakness is for San Francisco. You remember watching the game, Dallas, San Francisco? As they come out of the halftime locker room, Aaron Andrews, who's covering the Niners, does a little interview with Kyle Shanahan, and Kevin Burkhardt asks her about it. And Aaron Andrews says, Kyle Shanahan told me we have to do a better job of blocking the Cowboys' front four. Our offensive line has got to do a better job. Now, that's the head coach saying during the broadcast to the sideline reporter what the issue is. And if they have that problem in this game against the Eagles, they'll have a real problem.
And it doesn't, as to your point, this is the only team in NFL history that's had 4 guys with double-digit sacks. They had 70, which I was listening to the broadcast, 15 more than any other team in the league this year. So, yes, that is going to be a battle. And then, we talked about the acquisition of A.J. Brown. How about the acquisition of C.J. Gardner-Johnson? 6 sacks to lead the team, one of the top interception makers in the NFL. And that was kind of another little under-the-radar move. This team is loaded everywhere. And I think, obviously, that's why they are the 1 seed and why this is going to be a big-time game in the NFC Championship.
I think Hassan Reddick is the guy.
Oh, man, 16
He's
sacks,
the number one off-season acquisition.
Yep.
I mean, and I don't understand why he's not getting Defensive Player of the Year consideration. He's got 17.5 sacks, including the playoffs.
Yep.
Nick Bosa's got 18.5, including the playoffs. Bosa has been shut out with sacks so far in the postseason. Hassan Reddick absolutely demoralized the Giants' offensive line, especially their young tackle, Evan Neal. So I think Reddick is the key. Johnson's the key. You got 2 guys who can cover in Bradbury and Slay.
Yep.
But listen, all that being said, the Niners' offense is the best offense the Eagles will have faced all year long. And Shanahan is the best offensive coordinator and designer and play caller that the Eagles have faced all year long. This will be a huge challenge for the Eagles' defense, I think.
Sal, since you cover the Eagles, this would be one of those factoids that would come out of the Eagles area. Is Reddick the first guy ever to have 11 or more sacks in 3 consecutive seasons for 3 different teams? Like, that feels
rare.
That feels like that would be a pretty rare thing. He had 12.5 with Arizona and 20, 11 with Carolina last year, and now 16 with the Eagles this year, that's incredible.
Yeah, it is. It sounds like it's right. Yeah, that could be a first for sure. And you look at him, he's long, lean, really super tough, strong. He's got a lot of different moves. He's got a little bull rush to him. He's got an up and under move to him. He's got a swim move to him. He's got a really great explosive first step. He's speed to power. He's got all of those things. So I think without a doubt, A.J. Brown, great offseason acquisition. Gardner-Johnson, for sure. Bradbury stole him from the Giants.
Yep.
Bringing Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh after the
It's a lot.
Commanders on Monday Night Football. I mean, you bring in those 2 guys. You couldn't stop the run. Now you can stop the run. But I think if I was ranking them, if you were asking me to rank them, I would say Reddick would be number 1 because of, especially going into this game. To me, that's the difference. If you can terrorize Brock Purdy, flush him to his left, sack him, hit him, it's the city of brotherly shove, man.
It is. You mentioned Purdy earlier and watched him on the Matchup Show, which is a great show. I love it. Everybody who's a football fan should absolutely watch that show. You guys do a great job, Sal, so thank you for that. But is Kyle, I know Andy Reid's obviously an offensive genius, but is Kyle the genius in the league right now doing what he's able to do? This is a third quarterback. This is the last pick of the draft. And it feels like Brock Purdy does what Kyle tells him to do, and he does it very well. I mean, is this something – if the Niners do come out of this game, is this a real ratification of what a lot of people around the league already think about Kyle Shanahan?
If he had run the ball against the Patriots in the Super Bowl, yes.
Yep.
If he had run the ball against the Rams last year, I would say yes. So – I'm not going to go down that road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me get you out of here on this one.
I'm not going down. I'm not going down the genius road on Kyle Shanahan yet.
Okay.
I mean, listen. The alchemy of it is, we can flat out say they got lucky that Brock Purdy was there and that Brock Purdy has the makeup. I just tried to explain. I think.
Yeah.
That this guy is super for real, 100%. That's the quarterback of the team. He is the quarterback of the team now and going into the future. He's not giving up that job, not giving it up.
Sal, get you out of here on this one. Really appreciate your time. I wanted a quick read from you on the AFC side of it. All sorts of star power in that one. Jeez. Mahomes beats everybody, but somehow is 0 for 3 against Burrow in Cincinnati. They've led in all 3 games going into the 4th, all 3 of them losses. It feels like Cincinnati's got all the momentum in the world, but again, you got to go to Arrowhead and do it again. What chance do you give them?
Oh, a pretty good chance. I think it's the defensive coordinator of the Bengals.
Oh, he's great.
He's great at adjusting. His design is flawless. And then he's got some terrific players. I mean, Hendrickson, without a doubt, is the number 1 terror on that team. Relentless, tough, sets the tone, won't be denied. And their corners, their safeties are good. Their delayed blitzes are timed perfectly. I think Lou Anarumo has done a fantastic job, and I don't understand why people aren't talking about him as a head coaching candidate, frankly.
Agreed.
I think it's just the Burrow shine is so that no one can see past it. But you're right, it has been their defense. I mean, they're great offensively, but there's so much Burrow shine right now that people can't see past it.
Yeah, I agree that he's a total eclipse of the sun, and he should be for sure. Listen. How have the Chiefs lost to the Bengals lately? Late game turnovers.
Yep. Yeah.
That's it. Burrow's not turning the ball over at all. I mean, at all.
No.
2 hands on the ball as he maneuvers around the pocket, so you can't strip him. He's got nice maneuverability around the pocket. So, he's learned to avoid sacks that were easy in the last couple of years. And gosh, it seems like he's throwing to wide open people all the time, so he's not throwing interceptions either.
Sal, you're the best.
Yeah, I don't know when was the last time Joe Burrow had an interception. Do you? I can't even think of one, having watched him.
Did he have one here?
This year.
We beat him on Halloween, Sal.
He threw an interception in that game,
and he threw one in that
drive off of a Myles Garrett tip that was picked by AJ Green.
So it's been a while.
Back to your point, your earlier point, 35-2 since what? November 1st? What is it?
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah, it's been incredible. It's going to be a fun Sunday, and really appreciate you giving us some of your time, Sal.
Yeah, you guys are great. Thank you.
All right, that's the great Sal Paolantonio joining us on the Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea Hotline, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. We'll do a little mailbag coming up next. We got a presentation to come.
Oh, goodness.
You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Those are a new way to cheer on your Cleveland Browns with the help of your favorite four-legged companion, Barking Backers, presented by Milk Bones, the Browns' newest club for pet parents worldwide. Sign up today at barkingbackers.com. Barking Backers, the fan club for dogs. And yes, my Instagram was hacked, so that's fun. That'll be a joy.
I know. I had to give mine up earlier. It was gone. They took it from me, and I had to start like Nathan Zagura 2.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. If it can't be sorted out, I'm out.
Don't say it. Where are people going to get their cocktails in front of your sick bar? Where are we going to get Bootsy content, the bold?
Well, that's it. You're going to be deprived of all of it. But what am I supposed to do? I can't live in a world like this. I'm not starting over. Emails, all that. I'm out.
It took me to redo it 2 minutes. The pain is following
people
that you follow.
I got a guy in the metaverse, high up in the metaverse.
Okay.
If he can Paco me, get me to the front of the line, then I'll deal with some sort of restart. But I'm not starting from scratch.
Okay.
I don't have that in me.
Okay.
I don't have that in me. All right.
What the world needs now.
There you go. Little Ask CBD.
Yes.
Let's do it. Connor's here. The Browns Mailbag is presented by Vivid Seats, official fan experience partner, your Cleveland Browns. Tweet us our questions at Browns_daily and use the hashtag AskCBD. All right, sir, go ahead.
Gentlemen, a little bit late here today, but from Bobby Meckling.
Oh, really?
Just go down the Meckling
Bobby!
train.
Hey, Bobby!
Per usual.
Bobby!
If you could make the ultimate sandwich, what would be on it?
Is a taco a sandwich?
No.
Debatable.
That's not. No,
Why
it's
is
a
it
taco.
not
It's a taco. It's a taco. It's a tortilla versus 2 pieces of bread. I mean, it's not the same.
Okay, fine.
So,
My
I won't
ultimate
allow that.
sandwich would probably be a prime rib sandwich.
Lobel's at Yankee Stadium makes an incredible I'm sure they have it at their normal operations too, but I had one at Yankee Stadium on a bachelor party. Prime rib sandwich,
Like a French dip
with an au jus,
an au jus to dip.
and then a nice horseradish.
Sure.
Boy, that's a treat.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Very, very good. It's interesting as he asked that. The first sandwich that came to my mind was a Publix sub in Florida. They do a.
Hold on a second. Just hold the phone. I used to eat a lot of Publix subs at.
They're undefeated.
And in Atlanta,
They're delicious.
I go there with my boy Manto.
Yeah.
One time he was attacked by a hooligan, and I was wearing a shirt that my dad gave me that I was very proud to be wearing that said, "Kiss French, drink California," and it was a wine shirt.
Yeah.
And I defended Manto, and he thought it was the funniest thing
That was it?
that ever
Yeah.
happened at a Publix sub.
Public subs.
Yeah.
Public subs are incredible.
People
it's a
get
great
heated
sandwich.
if you cut if you're
For
in front
sure.
of them.
Yeah,
in the
you
line.
got to be in line. It's very. I used to do. I haven't had one in 20 years, but I used to do the white bread sub. The boar's head roast beef.
It was all boar's head.
It's all
was
boar's
the
head,
key.
which is probably the key to it.
Yeah.
Their bread was good too.
Great bread.
And then tomato, onion, salt, pepper, vinegar, and oil, and lightest mayo, just tiny mayo.
No
Just a
mayo
little,
for me, but
that was it.
their vinegar was great. And also, no shredded lettuce for you? They had great shredded lettuce.
They do, but on this
It was a
particular
lovely lettuce.
sandwich, I went without. Yeah.
Okay. That's funny. Isn't that amazing of like all the places that are in business just for sandwiches and this,
Well, they
that,
all do
whatever?
great stuff, but that's the first one that came into my head. And then you said the roast beef and or the prime rib, and that was Lobel's. So
Prime
that
rib
jumped
to me would be like big time.
The problem, honestly, with the prime rib sandwich was I just kind of wanted the bread out of the way.
Agreed. There was a wonderful cafe that was in a mall in Livermore when I was growing up that it was a French cafe, and they had a French dip that was shaved prime rib, but it was
Okay.
on a baguette, and then
Yeah.
when you dip it into the au jus, it was
To take it all in.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
I like that. I
like
where
a
your head's at.
vacuum cleaner. The other sandwich I'm trying to think about, there's a wonderful deli on the east side, Corky and Lenny's. I don't know if you've ever been there.
No.
And one of the first sandwiches I ever had when I came here. This is not for health food day. This is
No,
for,
this
this
is-
is a cheat day. They had a corned beef that was about yay thick,
Sure.
and instead of buns or bread, it was latkes.
Wow.
And then you could dip in a little apple. It was
That's a win.
a win.
It's a win, dog.
No doubt. Beatbox is saying a really good Philly cheesesteak from Steve's, perfectly done with American and mushroom, hard to beat.
Why do they? Why is it that in Philly they do it with the cheese whiz, and
don't know.
everywhere else you get a Philly cheesesteak, it's with provolone?
I need it with provolone, and in fact, at the Terman Deli at Emory University, my dorm, Elijah was on the grill, and he would make the best. I think it was the best cheesesteak I've ever had. And sometime you could get what you call an Italian, throw just a dash of marinara across the top.
Sure.
Of it. Oh, baby. And some hot peppers.
Yeah, that's a win.
Stop it.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Next.
This one in from Jersey Dog 17, also known as Russ 2019. For you, Zagur, in particular, this season didn't go as well as we anticipated.
Oh, you don't
We
say.
can celebrate the great things such as the people's voice, the vessel of positivity, the great Zagur making it into the broadcast booth.
Well, thank you, sir.
What did you learn? What will you do differently next season besides stockpiling felt tip markers?
It's important. Felt tips are big.
Got to have them.
Assist to you, getting me a green. Thank you very much when I was in a time of need. I think that what I learned was I learned how to prepare. Like as the season went on, my method got significantly more enhanced.
Streamlined?
Streamlined, yeah,
Yep.
more efficient. And then I think it's just, finding that rhythm with Jim. And I think as the season went on, we really, really found that. And so, hope to be able to kind of fall right back into that when the season starts. The preseason is just so different, so that's hard. But when we get in the regular season, just kind of like staying in that rhythm. I mean, Jim's so great, and my quest for knowledge is never ending. So it'll be for knowledge about our players, knowledge about our scheme. I just got to actually ran into Jim Schwartz in the hall and talked to him for a little bit. He asked me if I played, and I said, no, I'm not. He said, well, you look like you could have played. I said, well, I'll take that as a great compliment.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, obviously continuing to learn the quest of knowledge and ball and schemes and the evolution of what's in vogue in the NFL every year, that's never ending. So it'll just be more of that and trying to continue to give good information in a fun way and obviously in brief periods of time to the audience and enhance their listening experiences, be the au jus.
Yeah, that's it.
To Jim's tremendous French dip.
Yeah, that's the whole I thought you crushed it, buddy. You know that.
Thank you.
Said that before. Jess from this. He's from Lakewood, but he grew up in Helena, Montana. God bless him. Best friends actually with my cousin's ex-wife. Lovely ladies who's best friends with her brother.
Okay.
Asks who's the best player who's gotten away who would make an impact on the current roster.
DeMario Davis.
Jeez.
Without question, the guy's been first team All-Pro.
Yeah, I thought about Poyer and I thought about some of the, but no, that's the
DeMario
Davis would be,
especially given what we need. Poyer would be those are the two.
Yep.
Those would be the two.
Yeah.
Nobody on offense that I can think of.
No.
Obviously, I mean, Alex Mack's retired at this point. Mitchell Schwartz is retired at this point.
Yeah, and we're great on the offensive line, so you're fine there. But it's those two spots. Davis is crazy.
DeMario Davis was traded for Calvin Pryor, who punched Ricardo Lewis, who was cut, I think, by week 1.
Jeez.
Here's the crazier thing. Shame on us. Shame on the Jets. The Jets let him go twice.
Yeah.
They let him go to us. They traded back for him, then they let him go again. He's gone to New Orleans and become one of the best players in the league. Those are the two, without question. I like that. It's a great question.
That is a very good question. Good job. Next, what do you got?
From Enough from the Clown, we can take this a couple different directions, but if you could pull the ultimate practical joke on Gibbe, what would it be?
It would involve something at the combine, because while I like it fine once we're there, but the whole operation, I dread the lead up, that drive, all of it. It would be something to deprive him of his joy at the combine.
His joy,
even
of
momentarily.
His lurking.
Yeah, his lurking.
Joy.
Like maybe perhaps like that would be a good one. Like have a security guy go, hey, we've gotten some complaints about your lurking. People are uncomfortable about how much you're lurking around people.
The sad thing is we're
and
saying he's out loud right now.
He's not listening. He's hardly standing.
No,
but
that not standing.
That would be sitting. That would be a great one to him.
That would be a good
and to
one.
have that them be very forceful and escort him out, yank his credential, NFL yanking credential. That would be.
Fun.
That would be mine.
He'd lose it. Yeah, he'd lose it. The other would be simple as just getting in with Sims to just absolutely just Heisman him again, which would be fun.
Should be fun. Yeah, that was. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes Gibbe just pranks himself. It's just he naturally.
Wednesday Night Taped
was an all-time example of that.
Yeah.
Still think there should be a T-shirt. I'd wear, if anyone's out there want to make a Wednesday Night Tape T-shirt with Gibbe and the cast of SNL, pick whoever you want from the cast, on a T-shirt together, I would wear that a lot. I'd be pleased with that.
One of the great moments of all time. I believe you have that wrong.
Stupefying. I mean, absolutely stunning.
Just leaned in. Just wouldn't.
I will die on this hill.
Yeah, and he did.
Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got some rapid fires from Bobby.
Yes, good.
Most
Love it.
addictive game for you? What's the most addictive game for you? So I'm guessing he's talking about video games. Yeah?
Yeah, right now, Madden, although I'm getting very into chess with my son.
Oh,
And
I love
find it
chess
to
with
be
the boys.
I find
fun.
it to be very addictive, and like, I enjoy it. I mean, it's a simple board, simple pieces, simple rules, and
Dude,
every game
it's been
is
great forever for a reason.
forever. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it
it's
challenges
awesome.
you.
Steps ahead.
Yeah, you got to be thinking it. And it's weird.
Does Bryce love it? Is he just getting into it now, or has he always?
He's been getting into it for the last couple months, but he's very good. What's weird to me is I will have games where it is honestly like Queen's Gambit, where I see it all in my head, like 20 moves in a row, and I just annihilate people. And then there are other games where I'm blind as a bat. I can't see anything. I don't know what's going. And then all of a sudden, I'll just leave my queen exposed. And I'm like,
What have I done?
what are you doing?
What have I done?
How can it be so? How can I be so good
Yeah.
and then so bad?
Yeah. Most addictive game. I played a lot of pickleball this summer. That was fun.
I mean, golf's the most addictive game in the world. Golf is
Sure.
a never-ending quest, chasing perfection that
Chasing
was
it.
unattainable.
Bobby, what's the food you usually refuse to share? Here's my rule on it. If it is let's say it is not a because it's a prime rib is a big dish, or those are big things, but typically it'll happen like with a sushi or with something that is of a smaller commodity, and I will say this is really good, and if I'm like at a table with people, if I were you, I would get this too. I've had it. It's awesome. You'll love it. And then they go in another direction, and then the stuff shows up, and then, can I try that? No. I told you with fair warning that it was going to be great. There's nothing else on this menu,
Dude,
that's in comparison to
It's
this.
absurd that we have not broken bread yet. We'd be hilarious at a restaurant together.
We've broken bread. You almost watched me die in Indy at Elmo's.
That doesn't count. I'm talking about like I imagine those comments that you were making were either directed at other couples or perhaps even someone very close and near and dear to your heart. Is what that felt like to me. So I want to see that.
Like it's in the brochure.
I'd like to see
I
that.
told you.
So I never have a problem with sharing, and here's why.
Yeah.
I'm the cook.
Yep.
And Miss Kay is also a lovely cook, but she has been trained is the wrong word. She understands that we make more than could possibly ever be consumed.
Yes.
Like that's just the rule. Like you can never run out of food. That's not okay, where I'm still hungry. And if I go to a restaurant and we're in this situation, and somebody's eyeballing something I've got, I'll just order another one. There is not going to be a situation where like I'm not going to get all that I want. If you want to get some of that,
perfect.
Here's
comes
more.
Coming. You know, Herbie introduced me to one for the table.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
That's a great idea. Like everybody orders their thing and they're like, but maybe I'd like a bite of this or that.
Right.
One for the table, slice it up, everybody gets a taste.
Oh my God.
Love
all the time.
I love that.
JoJo's, we go to JoJo's, they have a great vodka sauce. But like it would be a lot to have as just your entree. So we're gonna get a vodka sauce for the table. And that way everybody gets a few rigatone.
Everybody gets a taste.
You're happy.
Yep.
Or if you go to a place where like, man, I'd love some king crab, but I don't need to get the only king crab. I'd like a steak too. Let's get steaks. Everybody gets steaks. King crab for the table.
I like it. Last one from Bobby. Would you take it if you had the opportunity to be immortal?
Yeah.
Bobby. I'd like a sweet spot.
But do I get
immortal feels like a long time.
Do I get to freeze my age at that? Like, can I say I'm going to be?
No, you got to be like the old guy in Last Crusade
I
at
be
the
like
end.
3,000 years old at some point.
Hold of the sword.
Oh.
Hold of the sword like 3,000 years old.
No way. No, I need to
that whole Fountain of Youth thing in Last Crusade. I don't know if it's all that you thought, right? I mean, you're just a really old guy forever. That's a lot going on.
But your body can't handle getting that old. So like, I feel like you should, if immortal, you should get to like choose
pick
at
your
what
age.
I am.
It would be weird though to stay as everyone you loved grew around you. I would think there'd be.
That's the hard part of being immortal.
I understand.
Everybody you love's going to die over and over.
Over and over and over and over. You're just going to
loves.
stay like in this one period.
Yeah.
That you would try to
I
navigate.
think I'd go like right
and
now.
then the other thing you
44.
say with like immortality, like you'd want to be at the apex of you, not just like fitness and all that, but also financial and everything else. Like, who wants to be in a mortal struggle?
Yeah.
There's no joy in that, brother.
No, I feel like, though, if you're immortal, you're going to be able to, like, really acquire some wealth. I feel like you'll have a lot of knowledge about certain things.
There should be certain things you'd know.
You're gonna
yeah,
know. Yeah.
You have a good handle on it.
Right.
All right, we're doing this next? That's the plan? We're doing it next.
I hope so. I mean, he's not here.
He's not here, and he might not
he
show.
is here.
Oh, he is here.
He
oh,
is
my
here.
God. This is the moment we've waited years
Oh,
for.
my goodness.
You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Let me clean
Face Off on the Lake presented by Meyer, the
How
first
can you even do
major
a read?
outdoor hockey, because we're big bees
I'm
at First
dying.
Energy Stadium. It's on February 18th. Buckeyes, Wolverines, First Energy. Tickets are on sale now, starting just $12. For more information, firstenergystadium.com/faceoff or call 440-891-5050. Every week in the football season, we hand out the BM PPE.
That's right.
And it goes to someone who relentlessly, maybe we need to add an R too, pursues perfection and excellence in the way of the great Brad Millen. And
Equipment Manager of the Year.
Equipment Manager of the Year. So many times over you can't even count them.
No.
And also the man responsible for the hoodie
That swept the nation.
swept the nation. And we have been in high-speed pursuit of said hoodie for 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, at least 2. And I would say for men of our caliber, it has been maybe the only true unfulfilled quest of our time.
It is our only failures.
Yes, has been around this hoodie. And we have been teased.
Goated.
We have been tantalized. We have been, quite frankly, bamboozled, hornswoggled, and frankly, the butt of jokes.
The butt of jokes. It's been a diabolical.
Diabolical is the word. He's a mastermind.
He's a mastermind is what he is.
He's a genius.
And now it's
now,
all
on
coming
Thursday,
home.
January the 26th, the year 2023, our patience finally is rewarded due to the great generosity, the benevolence, and really the pursuit of perfection embodied by this man, Brad Millen. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Look at him. Look at him. Come on over.
Let's have a seat, sir.
Come
have a
on
seat.
over and have a seat.
I mean,
he's got gold in his hands.
These are.
Connor's that mic on? Are we good?
We good? Yep.
All right.
There we go. There we are, sir. I didn't even know that something this gorgeous was possible, quite frankly. We dreamt.
We dreamt it up.
We dreamt it up.
A lot of credit to you in that the cream, we were like, because white had been done. And we didn't even mention the slight of the white.
Oh, there were so many. So many ruses.
The white was in Atlanta, Georgia, down to play the Falcons, week 4 of the season. I'm doing TV, and all of a sudden I see Brad Millen walk out in the white.
Jeez.
And he is strutting. He is strutting in a way that would make Bishop Don Magic Wand jealous as he peacocks around in this white. And I think, maybe it's going to be the white.
Not
given away. And some would say to an enemy of the program, just a huge slap in the face. And then we didn't relent, and yet here we are today. And Brad, tell the people what you have with you and how we've arrived at this unbelievable moment.
Well, let me tell you something. The stick has been going on for, 2 to 3 years?
Yes.
And I have to give kudos to Jerry Lawler, Jerry the King Lawler,
The King,
Dolph Ziggler, all the staff members in broadcasting, and my staff. It's been a lot of fun.
I bet it has. It's fun to see the other side. It's fun to see the other side of it.
Right.
Yeah, right.
The amount of times that we would see somebody walking through and just go, what?
Fall out of our chairs.
Yeah, my staff did a great job, developing this, 3 years ago now, I think it was, and it's just really taken off.
I asked you the question in the break when you first did it, because Stefanski was the first one I saw in one in terms of walking around. When you first did it,
the original black,
would you have ever guessed that it would become what it became? I mean, this thing was a phenomenon.
Not at all. I never expected it to take off how it did take off, and really the demand of everybody within the organization, how well they liked it. And, there's been some knockoffs done here and there, but, we have the original here, but now we have done an original for you. It is not the equipment staff hoodie, but for the Cleveland Browns Daily radio show, we have but we designed, with the help of some internal people here as well, your own.
Look at these. Are you kidding me, people? Look at it. I'm nervous to touch it.
I know. I said I can't eat in it. I can't be around other people.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a cream on a cream Nike with the Cleveland Browns Daily radio show. The elf.
Heisman elf. Heisman Brownie.
Just I want to cry. There's a part of me that wants to weep.
It's a moment we didn't think would ever come, quite frankly. And Gibby tried to make sure that it didn't. He's always trying to take our joy.
Neither did Paul, back in the day.
All he didn't even
know. That was the greatest prank, one that you let marinate for 3 weeks and let me just go on with my life thinking that he actually did have one, and then casually on our way out for rookie minicamp. Like, he doesn't have it. What are you talking about?
And then Dolph did a great job too,
Dolph was
coming
great.
up here, and it is hot in here actually.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing the same thing. It sure is hot in here because
But now
this
these are
is
here.
Well, it is the Cleveland Browns daily. It's still not the Cleveland Browns equipment staff.
That's
No,
true. That's true.
Does that make up for it?
Yes,
Yes,
that's
this
no,
does
this
make
is
up for it. This
beyond.
This is our
Humbled.
wildest dreams come true. Humbled is a great
Yeah,
word. This
humbled,
is
humbled.
This is
To be
akin to
bestowed.
we talked about. Joe Thomas. Should be going in the Hall of Fame here in Canton. He's
Yep.
going to get a gold jacket. This is our gold
This
jacket.
is your gold jacket.
Our
and
cream jacket.
On behalf of the equipment staff downstairs, which is the greatest staff in the NFL, bar none.
Bar none.
This is from us to you guys.
Thank you,
Dude.
sir.
Thank
so
you.
I have one for you.
Thank
I
you.
have one for you, and I don't have one for Gibby.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how it should
sorry.
be. Miss a little, miss a lot,
Miss a
Gibby.
little, Gibby.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank
These
you,
little
sir.
staycations.
sir.
Thank you.
It's
Great.
It's
You're
gorgeous.
very
It's
welcome.
just beautiful. Thank you so much, and everything that you do for the organization. I mean, our guys look the way they
He
look.
is the
He's
best.
The best. That's why we have the BMPPE.
That's right.
I like the BMPPE. And,
Yeah. That's right.
and these are so prestigious. They come with their own little travel case as well.
You don't say.
Oh, it's
Good.
unbelievable.
I don't want it
Unbelievable.
exposed to the elements.
I'm not going to eat in it.
I won't.
I will not eat it.
No way.
That's why we wear black, because anytime I eat in a sweatshirt, if it's light color, it's getting something on it.
The cream is dangerous. By the way, you mentioned Jerry the King Lawler. Tell the people what you have on your head, because I think it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Jerry sent me a Christmas gift this year, and I got a little box in the mail, and I opened it up, and it's a nice Christmas card from Jerry, and also this nice little hat.
But turn your head to the side for the people.
Oh, look at that.
Signed by Lawler the
I
King
love that.
into the hat in a
love
silver. I mean, it's
So
It's
thank you, Jerry, very
Yeah.
much. We love you.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
guys
Brad
very much.
Mellon,
Really special.
the legend.
Great man, Brad
Years
Mellon.
in the making. Sometimes you wait and you wait
just
and
never
you're
know.
not, and
I
it
gave up.
never gets there.
I had given up, but now it all comes full circle. So
It's
much
so
more
sad
to
that
come.
Gibby's not here to see the just
He should
No,
be.
it's appropriate that
devastation,
he's
and
not.
It's appropriate. He'd
Yeah.
rob us of joy.
So much more to come. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Way to close this out. What a thrilling moment that was.
I need Mike Myers
Emotional.
in here. I'm verklempt.
So, it's gorgeous. I mean, it's got own bag.
Oh my! I'm, as you guys know, I'm rarely speechless. I am currently speechless.
It's even more beautiful than we dreamed.
It's breathtaking. It's stunning.
It is, yeah.
And it is a sweatshirt the likes of which I've never even felt before.
No, there's a quality to it. I'm unfamiliar.
It's like,
yeah,
next
feel level.
It will.
Speaking of,
is next.
It's next.
I think this is the.
We may be back tomorrow. We may not. I don't know. This
Who
might
knows?
be. It's a good way to walk.
If this is it.
It's a good
been
way.
A great run.
Hell of a run. Great job out of you for the last 5 years. The next level coming up next. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.